Hey y'all, welcome to the 4th edition of Teaching Tuesday. Last week we did a little chord melody of My Ideal. We did the first half of the tune, and this week, as promised, we're going to do the second half. I'm just going to preface it by saying that the first half of the second half is very similar to the, it's pretty much exactly the same as the first half of the first half. So we are going to embellish it a little bit, but that part is going to be very similar. So like I did last week, I'm going to play it, and then I'll play it and I'll tell you what it is later. No, I'll play it for you, and then we'll dissect it afterwards. All right. So let's walk through that. So we have kind of the same beginning part as last time. We do our little weird dissonant E flat major chord, and then the melody is the same here. But if you notice, instead of playing that C7, I went ahead and actually changed the chord to a completely different chord, which is a G flat diminished. So it's a flat 3 diminished. Which is very different. So if you're playing this with a band, that's not quite gonna work. But this is kind of a solo guitar arrangement anyways. And so instead of just playing the chord, I, separate it with some counterpoint here. So, right? And then, that's actually kind of, like this chord, which is like a diminished 7, but I separated it. And then I added an extra extension there, right? Then we get to our regular F minor 11. And then I played the D there last time. Instead of doing that, I'm just gonna do a little counter line. Walk up from the 5th to the 6th, right? It's kind of a cool little line, right? So, and then instead of playing that chord that I played last time, I have a little different chord. This is kind of a real crunchy voicing too, right? So that's a cool D flat 7 voicing here, D flat 13. And then instead of separating it here like we did last time, the C7, we're just gonna play the chord. If you have a melody and you have it repeated a lot, I would err on the side of playing it kind of faster the second time, because the listener has already heard it. So you don't need to like dwell on the melody as much as you did the first time. You can walk a little bit faster through it. So instead of embellishing that a lot, we're just gonna play the C7 there, and then here the melody changes a little bit. We go up to a C, and so we have another, and then I'm gonna play a little bass and counter line here. It's kind of a very monkish line that I like to use. And then instead of the F minor 11 here, we have A flat major 7. We're just playing the full chords here. This is a little like a nice crunchy voicing that I use. It's very similar to ones we've already done. So this is a D flat 7 sharp 11, or 13 sharp 11. And then we go, we're not gonna play the full chord here. We're just gonna play a 6th here. And then we're gonna play that again. This is kind of where an A flat 7 sharp 11 goes, but we're just kind of playing a couple notes to give the listener a flavor of what's happening, not the whole package. So we go, and then we start to bulk up our chords, and it kind of gives a little bit momentum. And then we have, so that's kind of like a G minor flat 6, or however you want to look at that. We have 4 notes going on here. And then we have a C7 sharp 9. And then this is normally a B flat 7, B7 sharp 11, but we're gonna actually we're gonna do a little cool voice counterpoint here. We're gonna have the sharp 9 here. It's a kind of a weird thing, but it's kind of taking from this concept, like an F7 13 moving to the flat 13, but we're doing it over B, so it sounds a little bit weirder, but I like it a lot. So it's like, it actually looks like just a B half diminished, but it's kind of implied that this third is in there. Anyways, we go from that, and then we walk that note down a half step, and then we play the G on the top, and then we move from the regular natural 9 to the flat 9. And this is kind of a, I don't know, I think it might have got this from Monk too. But he might play something like that, but we're just gonna go right, and then it's kind of similar to the voicing we started with, but I'm adding some extra notes on the top here. It's very cool voicing. Anyways, yeah, so that's the whole chord melody arrangement of My Ideal. Again, I hope you guys found that helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and yeah, we'll get to something else next week. Let me know if you have any suggestions, anything you want me to cover. Thanks for tuning into another edition of Teaching Tuesday, and I'll see you guys next week.